Hello everyone. In lecture series of transmission and protection, today we will discuss the topic impedance relay. We already know that in electrical engineering terminology, the term impedance can be applied to a resistance alone or reactance alone or a combination of the two terms. But in protective relay terminology, an impedance relay has a characteristic that is different from that of a relay responding to any component of impedance, and therefore the impedance relay is very specific. An impedance relay is a voltage restrained overcurrent relay, and this relay measures the impedance up to the point of fault and gives tripping command if this impedance is less than the relay setting value of Z or impedance. This relay setting Z is proportional to the impedance up to the reach of the relay. So the relay monitors continuously the line current through current transformer and the bus voltage through potential transformer and operates when the V upon I ratio falls below the set value of Z. So this is the principle of operation. Here we will see that the voltage element of the impedance relay is excited through a potential transformer which is in line under protection scheme, and the current element of this relay is excited with the current transformer which is in series with the transmission line. In this diagram we will see that AB is the protected zone and the impedance of this protected zone is this capital Z, which is the preset value. In this type of protection scheme we will always compare with this preset value of Z. Here we will see that when the fault occurs in this protected zone, this is AB, then the relay is designed in such a way the relay will be operate. But when the fault occurs outside this protected zone, that is the fault F2, under this condition the impedance relay not be operated. Now we firstly assume that a fault occurs at point F1. When during this fault occur, the impedance from the point where the relay is installed and the point of fault is ZF. Here we will clearly see that this value of ZF is less than the value of Z. That means when the ZF value is less than Z, at that particular condition the impedance relay will must be operated because the fault is under the protected zone. But when the fault occurs at point F2, this is known as external fault because this fault is occur outside the protected zone of AB. Then here clearly we saw that the impedance between the relay location and the fault will be greater than the impedance of Z. So when the Z impedance during fault condition is greater than the impedance of value of Z, so under this condition the relay will be not operated. So this is the basic principle of operation of impedance relay. So we quickly move to the operating characteristics of an impedance relay. We will see that, or we will already learn in previous lecture, the impedance relay is a double actuating quantity and essentially consists of two elements, that is current operated element and voltage operated element. The current operated element produces a positive torque, this is K1I square, and the voltage element develops a negative reset torque, this is K2V square, which is in negative term, and minus K3 is basically a spring control effect which we will consider a negligible in later section. So here V and I is the RMS value of voltage and current. When at balance point, when the relay is on the verge of operating, the net torque is equal to 0. So this T equal to 0, then after mathematical simplification we easily find the expression, this is V upon I, this is also known as Z impedance, this is equal to root under K1 upon K2 minus K3 upon K2 I square. But we will neglect the effect of control spring, that means we will consider the K3 equal to 0 because the effect of spring is noticeable only when at current magnitude well below those normally encountered. So in this case we will consider spring effect, this is equal to 0, that means K3 equal to 0. Then after further simplification of this mathematical expression, when put K3 equal to 0, the Z is equal to root under K1 upon K2, that means Z is Z, which is the value of preset value of this protected section, is depends on the value of constant terms K1 and K2. Now here we will see that in curve there is some bending moment in the lower current value. This moment is due to the spring constant, where the effect of control spring is shown as causing a noticeable bend in the characteristics only at a low current end. For all practical purpose, the dash line will be considered, which represent a constant value of Z, and we will consider for practical purpose of the operating characteristics. The relay will pick up for any combination of V and I represented by a point above the characteristics equation or characteristics line. That means here we will see that above this characteristics line, the value of ZF, that is the value of impedance under faulty section inside the protection zone, is less than the value of preset value Z. At this particular region, the relay will be operated, but when the value of impedance under faulty condition is greater than Z, that means the voltage occurs outside the protected zone. Our protected zone is AB, which is I earlier mentioned in slide. Our protected zone is AB. When voltage occur outside this protected zone, the impedance will be greater than the preset value of Z. So in this region, the relay will not be operated, but by adjusting the slope of the operating characteristics can be changed so that the relay will respond to all values of impedance less than any desired upper limit. Now the characteristics of impedance relay is more conveniently describing by using the RX diagram. Here we will see that first I stated here this vector radius represent the value of Z, or we assume this vector radius is equal to Z, which is the impedance of the protected zone AB. When the value of impedance is lesser than Z, that means the faulty section will be inside the circle. Here we will see clearly when the value of Z is less than this Z, that means the value is lie inside the circle, and when the value is lie inside the circle, it means clearly the value of ZF is less than Z, and in this region is called a positive torque region and must be relay operated. But when the impedance during the fault condition is increases the Z, that means its value increases this radius, that means when the value increases the radius, that means the value is lie outside of the circle, and this outside of the circle region is known as the negative torque region, which means the relay will not be operated in this case. Here I must say that the operation of the impedance relay is practically or actually independent of this phase angle. So the operating characteristics is a circle with its center at the origin. So here we will see that the value of impedance during fault, during inside the protective zone fault or external fault, the values will be either inside the circle or outside the circle. When the impedance value is inside the circle during fault condition, the relay will be operated because its value is lesser than the vector radius, or vector radius is equal to Z. And when the impedance during the fault condition is greater than this radius value, then at this particular condition relay will not be operated. So now we move to basically the relay may be electromagnetic or induction type impedance relay. Here we will discuss electromagnetic type impedance relay. In this diagram, we clearly seen that the two torque are produced by electromagnetic action of the voltage and current, and these two torques are compared. Here we will compare the two torques, where we will compare the value of the two impedances. One is preset value of impedance and one is after fault impedance. Here we will compare the torque produced by the two elements. Here we will see that there are two solenoids. This is solenoid B and this is solenoid A. This solenoid A is connected with the secondary of the current transformer. This solenoid B is connected with the potential transformer, which is connected to the bus bar. So the solenoid B is a voltage excited from the secondary of the potential transformer and develops a clockwise torque, which is TB, and this torque is pulling the plunger P2 in downward direction. Okay, the another type of torque which is developed by the solenoid A by the current transformer current in the counterclockwise direction, this is TA, this is represented by torque TA, and it's again pulling the P1 plunger in downward direction. So TA torque is developed due to the solenoid A in counterclockwise direction, and torque TB is due to the solenoid B which is in clockwise direction. One other factor is that this spring acts as a restraining force and sets up a mechanical torque in the clockwise direction which is represented as TS. This torque is again in clockwise direction. So the torque developed by the solenoid A which is connected to the current transformer is known as the deflecting torque or pickup torque. At the same time, the torque developed by the solenoid B which is connected to the potential transformer in clockwise direction is known as the restraining coil or restraining torque. So now in normal operating condition, that means when there is no fault and equilibrium is occurs, the balance arm, this is the balance arm, this balance arm is in horizontal position and the relay contacts are open. But when a fault occurs in the protected zone, the current in the current transformer primary goes up and this value of current is also increases in the solenoid A. When the current increases in solenoid A, the torque developed by the solenoid A, this is in counterclockwise, this is TA, is slightly increases due to increases in current. Also due to voltage drop with the occurrence of fault, the magnitude of the restraining torque developed by solenoid B is decreases. Thus the balance arm rotates in counterclockwise direction because this torque is greater than this torque. So this balance arm is rotate in this direction, and then this strip is in contact with the relay contacts and relay contacts will close during the fault condition in the protected zone. So the pull-off of the solenoid, that is current element, is proportional to I square, and that due to solenoid B to proportional to V square. So the relay will operate when the condition is occur K1 I square is greater than K2 V square. That means this is the torque TA, this is the torque TB. When torque TA is greater than torque TB, then the relay must be operated. So again here we will simplify this mathematical equation. We also obtain the condition that Z is less than root under K1 and K2, which is equal to the condition of the impedance relay. That means when this condition is occur, the relay will be operated. Now next one is time impedance characteristics of the electromagnetic type impedance relay. So in this type of characteristics, the ordinate represents the time of operation for the relay and the abscissa represents impedance which is proportional to the distance. As may be seen, the operating time for almost the entire length for which the relay is designed to operate is constant. Towards the end of the predetermined length, the curve rises gradually. Here you see that the curve will rises gradually at the last end point, and current elements become nearly equal. And after the point A has been reached or passed, the operating time rapidly becomes infinity. Such a relay is basically classified due to this type of time impedance characteristics is known as definite distance type impedance relay because it operates instantaneously for faults up to a predetermined distance from the relay. The quality of protection provided by the distance impedance system is superior to that provided by the overcurrent relay. So here we will see the basic principal operation of impedance relay, where we will understand when the impedance relay is operated and Thus, their type of electromagnetic type impedance relay is when operated. Here we will clearly see that the basic impedance relay is operate by comparing the preset value of impedance and the impedance after the fault. And in case of electromagnetic type impedance relay, we will see that the torque quantity will be compared, and according to this torque quantity the relay will be operated. In later lectures we will see the different types of directional relay, that is reactance relay, Maho relay, and we also see that what is the difference between these types of relays. So till then, thank you very much to viewing my lecture, and